people than you and I in the past week would have said, let's lower the temperature, turn the temperature down, which means that we have a lot of heated debate, discussion, attitudes, hearts in this country to which rational actions are taken in irrational ways. Now, look, I know Charlie Kirk has been in the news since his unfortunate demise, and people, including his family, have mentioned and said all kind of statements and speeches and declarations. Actions were taken. HBCUs were shut down because of threats, and we know that the gunman was ideology, the same ideology as Mr. Kirk, if not even more so, according to reports and according to that. This is a time that, around last year, it wasn't even campaign season. It was a time where you felt, okay, things could be getting better, but they weren't. And so everyone felt they could become better, but now they've turned in the other direction. They've turned worse. The rhetoric has become more heated. The actions by our government has become more severe, more intolerant. And even now, as the economy becomes weaker, people are now starting to turn on each other and murder each other. We just have to say, turn the temperature down, lower the temperature. Nothing is that serious, including arguments you have with your fellow people. And if someone says or espouses an ideology that you disagree with, well, it's one person. Maybe they have a group of people that agree with whatever they're saying, but still, they're not lawmen. They make statements, not laws. But in our society today, we decided to be judge, jury, and now in the unfortunate role of executioner. I mentioned in the past video that the same day Mr. Kirk was murdered, there was another school shooting. And isn't it funny, no one has said anything about the young people that lost their lives. This is what I mean about the temperature, right? When does the United States of America stop becoming empathetic to school children? Oh, maybe Sandy Hook, I don't know. But we have reached a moment in time that we all have to look ourselves in the mirror and say to ourselves, is this the type of person, or is this the type of country, and am I the type of person who becomes this way, turns this way, unsympathetic, stick to my ideology and nothing but my ideology, just don't care about other people, the lives they live, the families they raise? Has it come to that now? Has it come to the fact that our hearts are no longer with us and we just don't care anymore? We say, screw it. Just screw it. We don't need them living in our neighborhood. We don't need them running our city councils or school boards. But them look just like you. And this is what, over a long stretch of decades, the drip, drip, drip of partisanship has done to this country. The rules that are in place, the insensitivity towards our fellow man. Anytime something happens to someone in my shade, you can say that, oh, well, hey, they lived in that neighborhood, they deserved it. But now it just seems like it's being widespread all over based on ideology. We're more willing to send troops to cities that have really no crime now as compared to the 1980s when they should have been there, instead of the actual areas that should have those troops and those battalions to guard their communities. But I digress. We have ideologues who are just ideologues for a reason. They believe in what they believe in what they've learned. They believe in the idea. They've learned that the idea of this policy is no good, or somehow a person like me got into college just because I was given a free handout. No. Most people who are my same shade had to get into college because we had to work hard to get there. But again, that's another story for another time. All I can tell you is that in the previous video essay I mentioned that violence is never the answer. And if you think that there's a growing sense that something is about to happen through violent means and somehow there'll be something happening, it's because guess what? We the people feel and think this way. As a man's heart, so shall it be, right? Or as a man thinketh, we believe that something huge is going to happen because we want it to happen. We feel as if this is the only way we'll have peace. And I'm no dummy. I know history requires violent acts in order for things to happen, positive or negative. I know there's a reason why we fought World War II, World War One. I know that all the other wars that preceded it had to happen, even the Civil War, for reasons you and I both know. But war is not the everlasting deterrent people think it is. Mindsets and ideologies live past wars because people keep them alive. Human beings believe there was something that didn't quite work out, but with a few refinements, maybe this will work. And once again, it has to be put down and refuted over and over again. There is no doubt in my state of California that we're going through some changes right now. No, not because of troops or anything like that, because of political machinations, which will impact the entire country, which to some people believe will help stabilize sanity instead of the hardships to come. And I wonder, as I look at my news media, I look at all my corporate owned networks that have these guests and all these experts on. I believe that it's all about numbers game, right? They all want this to happen. Whatever is going to happen, they want it to happen. Because peaceful stories don't get ratings. Chaos and division, and you could talk endlessly. I mean, the last 48 to 72 hours, we've been talking about Mr. Kirk and nothing but Mr. Kirk, instead of the school children who've lost their lives even bigger and more important story. But no, we want to talk about that. And every death, every life lost is important. But the fact that, again, my own case, these children who have yet to live a life, opposed to someone who made inflammatory remarks and was known for that, important. And even more important, in the undercurrent of all this, the shooter himself belonged to the same ethnic class as Mr. Kirk. And not only that, it's on an alarm that all the HBCUs were shut down. And why? Did they anticipate someone that he argued with of a different shade than like we have to say? Make sure you're in the back of the class when you understand that people of my shade have listened to this for centuries and trust and believe they've acted on the same policies against us than for us. So this is nothing new. We understand there are people like Kirk come out of the woodwork every single day against us. And yet, we move forward. We move forward. We have no reason to shoot anybody. Unless you're in the 1980s and you're shooting people based on the color of a rag. But again, that was also in the news, and people love to cover that in my neighborhood. Documentaries. They spent hours and hours at 3 major networks at the time coming down here. But again, I'll discuss that at a later date. What's happening now is a cycle of violence that if you disagree with someone's opinion, it's not fact, it's opinion. It's what the person says. And you happen to shoot that person because you disagree with them. It says a lot about our society and a lot about what our young people have to understand. You can disagree with someone. You can have an argument, and because the person maybe is slicker in their answers, it doesn't mean that they're right. We've seen those types of individuals in our society before, and trust and believe we'll see them in the future too. I disagree. I disagree with the notion that something is about to happen, because this has happened before. We've had people who made inflammatory remarks before. We've had people that have made remarks that go against the status quo. Yeah, they've never been shot or assassinated in front of the family and their friends. But this is the type of world that we live in now, where your ideology supersedes your morals. It's all about your ideology. It's all about you being right about your policies and also your statutes, rather than the moral side. What is right? What is wrong? Yes, the law says this, but there have been laws, unjust laws, that people have followed, knowing they were unjust, but decided because it was a law, violated the moral conduct of man. And you just got to stand up and say, this is an unjust law. You know? Just because the law's in the books doesn't mean it's right. I'm not a fortune teller. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen between now and whenever. I do hope, as I mentioned in the beginning, that everyone will lower the temperature. Lower the temperature. Just cool it. Stop posting wild remarks on the internet or in the groups or your chats. Just think about it. Understand this is a sensitive issue for some. And for others, it's a happy time. I don't celebrate anybody's death. Let me tell you that right now. But I do believe this is the moment that we all have to look in that mirror and say to ourselves, is this the type of world that we want to live in? Is this the type of nation am I comfortable in? My child or my daughter, are they comfortable walking down the street every single day or going to school and not being shot by whoever? This is the world that we are living in now. And we have to ask ourselves very serious questions, because it takes very serious answers to deal with this reality that we have put ourselves in. We have to deal with the fact that politicians just don't care anymore. They want your vote and then act as if you don't count. We have people that you may have known for a long time who were cool with you turn their backs and say they don't give a care, or stronger language than that. We're living in an insensitive world right now, an insensitive society where people don't care. They don't give a hoot about whatever. Is it because of the personality? Is it because of the fame? Is it because whatever? But really, deep down inside, I and you have to make those decisions. It ain't up to that sports guy or that political woman or anyone else to make our decisions for us or how to act. If we have the right morals, we know how to act and we know how to conduct ourselves. And again, I don't know what the future is going to hold for us. You can pray. You can definitely ask for an answer to all this. But I would say, look in that mirror, challenge yourself, and say, I'm not going to give in to my lesser demons. Because doing so, it brings us to this point right here, right now, where that temperature will increase and it will get too hot for all of us to notice. Just my thoughts. If you love this content, you like it, and you want to see more of it, please subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button down below. If you like this content, please click the like button. Or you have an issue with what I said, don't rant, don't go on a tangent, just a positive, rational answer would do. You may comment, but you know that I'm writing books, so if you like to find out more about me, click the banner above and you will have your wish. Well, in closing, I think it would all do us well right now, at this moment in time. Lower the temperature. Because guess what? There are going to be a lot of hotheads on the TV screen and on the internet, on this medium, that will more than start or reignite the flames of division, fear, and whatever they wanted to achieve. Can't let them do that. We got to control ourselves and maintain that spirit of goodness always. So thank you. Whenever you're watching this, I really wish you all the best. And in closing, I'd like to thank everyone and have a great day, evening, week, wherever you're watching this. And please, take care.